right, here we go. All right, I think we're live now. Probably just me and you for a little bit because I didn't really discuss that I was doing a live tonight until I messaged you about it.
Do you
I
normally tell
just
people?
I try to, I definitely try to, but it's just this has been a funky week. There's been some like a lot of developments down south. My mom's health is not good, but of course we don't really communicate, so
Yeah.
it's just that's kind of been on my mind. I've been trying to get some things going and figure out what I was supposed to be at a Comic-Con this week, but I didn't go.
Oh, ooh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
Wait, in
yeah, it
San
was so
Diego?
no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. I was gonna say
This one
that
was
shit
in
is like
Boston.
$1,000,000.
Yeah, no, no, they would invite me to pay to go there. No, no, there's a
Yeah, no
really
kidding.
cool. I met a guy in Portland at a small Comic Con that does this Comic Con this BIPOC centric, and he invited me this year. This was the first year that they had like the whole thing was live, so they invited me this year, and I was set to go, but I just it wasn't good timing, and I just wasn't in the mental headspace to spend time away from home right now. So
Right, right.
I set
Ooh,
it out.
I've got
What's
a
up?
topic for you.
Oh,
I
I'm ready. What you got?
Okay, so here's something that I haven't actually seen anybody really talking about. Maybe they have, and I just didn't notice. But
All right.
so with all the memorial stuff that happened, I guess nobody really noticed that Zeb popped up again for a minute.
I saw his video. Yeah.
I have his crash loaded up right here. I could play it,
Oh, let's do it for sure. I
but
thought it
like
was
yeah,
good.
yeah, he
I
did a
thought it was really
crash.
good. Yeah.
I hit him up that night. I was like, "Hey, I saw your crash." Like I hit him up like 30 minutes after he uploaded. I was like, "Yo, I saw your crash. That was awesome and stuff. Glad you got to do something." And he sent me some other footage. I won't play that because I don't know if he wants that private, but
Sure. No, that's
but
fair.
it was some funny extra like after footage of that, and it was good. So yeah, I'm
Oh
glad he had a
yeah.
good time and he was still doing it, and that was badass. I'm glad to see it.
It was like old school Zeb. It was an old school Zeb crash.
Yeah, and on his channel, I don't know, people probably don't even realize it was him because his name is called, what is it, Save the Children or something like
Yeah.
that, Save
Save the
Our
children.
Children.
Now it used to be I'm worldly, but now there was like Save Our Children or Save the Children
Right,
or something like that.
right, exactly. So yeah, like people might have forgotten that was him. And yeah, and also he has his channel listed as for kids, I guess, because it won't let you comment.
Ah, well,
So
that's
yeah,
smart.
but
Oh,
I yeah, I was just surprised people
what's
didn't
up,
even
Professor?
notice.
How's it going?
Oops,
Yeah, it was.
don't
It
mind me.
felt. Oh no, do your thing. No, no worries.
Oops, sorry, that's old stuff. Excuse
Who's this
me.
guy? Nah, I'm
Some
joking. I
jackass. Some guy, Jeffrey Jackass. I think that's his name.
know. Close enough. Yep.
That's him, right? He's from Straya, where all the bugs are
Yeah.
huge, just like Texas.
Yep.
All right, let me see here.
I hear you
Where
got some
is
pretty big creeps down there too.
Creeps?
Yeah.
Oh
In
yeah.
Australia,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You got
about
plenty
a
of
thousand
them.
and six of them to
Yeah,
who's counting.
yeah. Shoot. Oh well, the Australian Royal Commission was counting.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, let me find his thingy. I just had it loaded up. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. Durr. Here we go. Just let me know when you want me to
Go for
smash
it, man.
that. I
I'm
don't even
ready,
know if
man. Let's
like.
do it.
Hold on. Let me see how this works. There we go. All right. Well, I'm gonna see if it works. Let me know if you can hear it when I play it.
Okay. I can see it, and let's see. I can't hear it. Do I need to like? Can I invite you like on a different screen and maybe like have it as like a third? Would that work?
Hold on. Wait. Maybe you can hear it if I do this. What if I try this? Can you hear this?
No.
No? No? Okay, damn. All right, well, you can always just play the video on your end. I mean, like, you have the link, right?
Yeah.
Or you
Let
can
me
find it.
pull it up on YouTube. I can find it on YouTube real quick.
Yeah, I can find it too. It was in my notifications. His channel is very on the DL now, but that's fine. Let me see here.
Let's see. 2018. You know what? Like maybe this will be a good like. Oh, yours is the first one that comes up when you put in Memorial 2022 crash.
Beats me. Is it the guy that did it in Spanish? Because I like that dude too. He's cool.
No, I hadn't seen that one.
Oh, we can watch that one too. Then he did a few
Awesome.
crashes too, but he did them all live on YouTube, like on Zoom. I wanted to give people more privacy, so usually when I do anything in Zoom, I try to blur people's faces out. When it's in public, it's different. Like when I'm in person, it's a little different, but over Zoom
You
can be tricky.
you got a pretty solid you got a pretty solid confidence when you go in and do them. So like I'm sure that goes a long way. I can't find that video. Is it Save Our Children?
Here, I'll let me see.
You got it?
This shouldn't take too long. It was in my notifications, unless you like took it down, which I doubt. But if that's the case, I can find a way to send it to you so you can.
It seems like it just went by my my like homepage just earlier today.
Let me see if I can find it.
Let's see here.
This is the fun show where we watch people.
I love it.
For shit, right? It's a good
you
show.
know what? You guys like
where it is.
This is a glimpse inside of like what we typically do when nobody's looking anyway. It's like doing XJW research is a lot of checking and cross-checking. It's didn't I see this somewhere? I thought I saw this somewhere. Now I gotta go find it. You know, I have little shame about it because if you don't see me doing it, I'm still doing it anyway. It's just kind of.
All right, I have his channel, and here we go. I got the. No wonder you can't find the fucking video because it's got emojis in the title. I hate when they do that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send you the thing on Discord. Son of a motherfucker. Oh, I'm about to start swearing really bad. I was about to say the MF word over here. Okay. Like I don't say enough bad words as it is. Okay. Here on Discord, I'm throwing it at you right now. And sorry for everybody who's having to watch my hat. I know that's not very entertaining.
It's a fine hat, Asher.
Thank you.
Don't ever talk down on your hat.
It is a good hat.
It's a scripture somewhere, I think.
It is a really good hat. It's a Pink Floyd hat. It's got the Dark Side of the Moon triangle thingy with the it's cool.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so you got the video, right?
Yeah, we got the video. I got and I got sound. So I'm gonna screen share it real quick.
All right, let me just mute myself here.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
A lot of child sexual abuse.
Let me start this over real quick. All right. Here we go, guys. Check this out.
And the sound is working, just so you know. I can hear it.
I muted myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know that the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses is harboring pedophiles and covering up a lot of child sexual abuse.
Excuse me.
So if you're new here, please avoid this religion with all you can. These are great people, but the governing body protects pedophiles with a two-witness rule. They require two witnesses for any
I don't want to call the
accusation
right now,
of child sex abuse.
We will call the police.
Yeah, no, you can call. You can call them. So. Let's go. Thank you. You're gonna spill it.
You're gonna spill it.
He should have drank them both. He should have just drank them both.
Yeah, no
Like Stone
kidding.
Cold Steve Austin style.
Oof. I don't know if I could handle 2 glasses of that nasty wine. I had
That stuff is
one.
the worst.
It's so gross. Oh, hey, it's Will in the chat. Hey, Will.
Yeah. I think we all should spill it. Like that was the best portions of all the information that he got out.
Yep.
It's so bizarre to see how many people didn't even register. That like they're just at
That's
the
because
hall.
yeah, it's because they're just trained to go. Whoop, nope,
They're
I ain't
just
here.
at the hall. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there's a disturbance. I'll let the brothers deal with it, and then I'll dial back in. Like I'll get back on the Zoom call, even though I'm here in person, as soon as the interruption is clear. What is that? Like, how does that work? Like
They
every
just
time I
trust the
see it,
brothers to handle it, and they also trust that whatever the apostate is saying is irrelevant, not important, and lies,
he's
probably.
demonized. He's
Yeah.
demonized. Why would
So,
you
like,
listen to him?
yeah. But some people do listen. That's the thing. A lot of people do actually listen. And I know for a fact because, well, I've had people
Yeah.
contact me before. But yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. That's just it. Like I do feel like it's important work. I've felt like it's important since I
Yeah.
first started researching and saw Derek O'Hare doing
yeah.
it.
Don't discount the fact that even though they look like they're not listening, they might just be pretending not to, so they don't get in trouble. Which is
That's it.
exactly what I would do. I would be like, the hell are they trying? I'd try to move closer without looking obvious, so I could
The
hear.
self-policing. Oh, I would definitely go out in service the day after. You know what I mean? Because that's where you find out if the elder's wife knew a little bit more. Was this an apostate
Oh
that needs
yeah,
to go
yeah.
to
You
the
get all the
call?
good gossip. Yep.
Absolutely, but no, like I do think that I think it's one of the most important things that I've seen. And as far as you guys who are able to like go into kingdom halls and get in front of these people, and regardless of it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what they feel. Like the truth is the truth. Um, nobody's telling lies in those places. Nobody's telling lies when they go into these kingdom halls.
Yeah. I mean, like, what's the motivation to lie to you and tell you that? I mean, like, do they actually think we really want to make them suffer and die? Is like,
Yeah.
what kind of? They must think we're really evil if that's really what they think of us. And in which case, wow, holy shit.
Right.
But yeah, and also as far as scaring them and stuff goes, like I'm not too concerned about if people get scared, and here's why: because the amount that I've scared them in the 2 or 3 minutes that I'm in there, maybe even one night that maybe they were thinking about it that night, is like far less damaging than the shit that Watchtower has been doing to them. I mean, honestly, the only reason that they're afraid of me in the first place is because Watchtower told them to be.
Watchtower told them to be afraid, and it's better than anything that that they could experience. I won't speak in absolutes, but it's what's up, Frank? Yes, Professor. I'm sure that they feel all the Jehovah feelings they can feel when y'all go up in the kingdom halls.
All the Jehovah feelings.
But I don't know. I just don't. It's just a very like nobody really. You have to grasp how dangerous this organization is, and being able to pay attention to how they report something like a war now is it's very telling. Like to be able to see it as an adult, like I've seen it my whole life as a witness, but to see like how they handle actual turmoil, and the first thing that they do is like bring up like, don't forget we amended the blood doctrine a little bit, so if you work at a hospital you can't administer blood. That's not a conscious decision anymore. It's pretty intense stuff, and if I was a witness I can see how I would be totally afraid now.
Yeah, you saw that the governing body update, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I watched it. I watched it yesterday. I couldn't believe. Altworldly did a fantastic long form video on it, so I would definitely direct folks to that one. But
Yeah, that was a rough update. Oh my goodness.
y'all, like, they're pretty much coming out and saying, "Don't look at the news."
Yeah,
You
they're
know
saying don't
how?
care.
Yeah, don't look at the news. Don't
Don't
be
worry
like
about it. It's not your
reinforce
problem.
your political neutrality. And I really do believe that's colonization, racism, white supremacy in the States anyway. That's all those things in action. It
Dude,
really, really is.
I totally said that in the chat and nobody said anything. Like when they were reading off that bullet point list that they had in there, I was like, what is this, a white supremacist pamphlet or something? Because like
Right.
that's what it looked
I,
like, same bullet points.
yeah, I said it in the chat too. I was like, for them to see what happens with the police. I was harassed by the police the year I got baptized at the hotel Sunday before the assembly, dressed in my meeting clothes, and I was 12, and I was little when I was 12. Somebody had broken into my brother's friend's car, and the police came. I was in Columbia, South Carolina. The police came, and he's talking to my brother's friend about it, and he looks back at me, and he says, "I probably shouldn't say this out loud in case you and your friends get a little bored one night, but because I was freshly baptized new Jehovah's Witness, politically neutral, it went right over my head."
Wow.
And I think about that all the time because that could have gone left so fast.
Yeah.
Going and knocking on people's doors with Confederate flags on their door.
No shit.
Going and knocking on people's doors in rich neighborhoods that don't have Confederate flags on their door. You know how often you get the police called on you as a witness. I can't think of how many times we were out there talking to the police. And if you can't see that, like, a big chunk of your congregations is in danger, and you don't speak out against that, that's wrong. Like, that's the blood guilt. It's not blood guilt over you not going out in service and telling somebody that, there are 3 different types of parrots in the Awake magazine is blood guilt. No. This is blood guilt. When you have actively endangered your people and you don't see any need to make adjustments, but you'll send 6 million letters to Russia when a situation is already irritated and aggravated, to tell them to not ban the witnesses by annoying them. Like, at what point does this stuff become consciously bad decisions? Or at what point do we say it's consciously bad decisions? Because I feel like it is. I don't really have a question. They feed off persecuting us. They feed off persecuting the rank and file. And there's a lot that I wanted to say on that video, but I don't want to. Maybe I'll get to it one day, but like that was
get to it one day, yeah.
There was a lot there, and if you want to talk about it, we can. But again, like I do feel like it was an important piece for witnesses, and I feel like that should be like definitely recommended watching for anybody who's watching this. It's just right on their website, so never take my words as opinions when I speak on the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Do your own research.
Yeah, I only say what they say. This is plain and simple.
Yep.
I don't care to take credit for their work. I don't care. I wish
Who
I
would
didn't
want
have
to.
think.
Hell, sometimes they don't even want to take credit for their own work. That's why they don't tell you who translates the damn Bible.
Yes, God did it. God was the editor.
Yeah.
Put him on trial.
Lord. I bet they would say that if they were pushed to the brink, like in a court situation, they'd be like, it was God. It wasn't
That's
us.
been said. That's totally been said.
Well, I know, but like, I mean, like literally like that, not like in a
Oh yeah,
roundabout
yeah.
way. Because like they kind of say it in a roundabout way that it was God that
Right.
did it, not them. But I want to hear them say like, it was Jehovah that did it. Like just straight up like that. It was
Have
Jehovah.
you
He did it.
have you seen that? Have you seen this right here? Let me do a screen share. I'm sure you have. Like you've been. This is out every time somebody says something like that. It always makes me think of this. But Franz and Noor in court, and the lawyer says, "Who became the editor of the magazine, the main editor of Watchtower magazine?" And Fred
Oh my
France
God.
says, "In 31, the Watchtower discontinued publishing the names of any editorial committee on the second page." The court says he asked who became the editor. Fran says, and it said, the court, who became the editor? Who became the editor when this was discontinued? Fran said, Jehovah God.
Oh God, I'm gonna die.
Oh my gosh. Imagine ratting out God. This is like worse than like a mob movie.
That's hilarious and weird. Just fucking wow.
What more do you need? Like exactly, Jehovah with one of those old school like green transparent accounting visors on, like mixing toner and printing watchtowers.
Oh my Lord. Oh yeah, actually, what we were talking about earlier reminded me of a funny thing that Marcus Vaughn. You know Marcus Vaughn, right?
Oh
The
yeah,
ex-Bethelite on
Yep.
YouTube. Yeah, he's a friend of mine, and he lives locally, so we've hung out a few
cool.
times. And he's always trying to get me to like, hey, let's come up with new ideas for activism and stuff. And I'm like, okay, sure. And so sometimes he'll throw out a few ideas, and we'll figure out if they're good or not. One time he told me, let's start pranking people by dressing up as JWs and going to their doors. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, do you want to get shot? Like, I don't think okay, so like I think because Marcus was like a really sheltered JW and was in Bethel and stuff, maybe he doesn't realize that like that's a super bad idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tried to tell him, I was like, dude, you are so gonna get killed. And he was like, no. He's like, don't be silly. And I was like, no, dude, trust me.
No. It would be silly to think that you're not going to get killed.
It would be presumptuous to think. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, no, he just like he still really doesn't. I've tried to explain to him why this is a bad idea multiple times, but I still don't think he gets it. I just told him, please, like, just for me, don't.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
No,
like, we'll figure something else out that you're not going to get arrested and or shot for.
Yeah,
because I would be also worried he'd go to jail too.
Yeah, and then all bets are off.
I would go to jail. Shit.
I mean? Yeah, you guys in your location, like, you guys just better stay around numbers.
I would be lucky if my ass made it to jail alive. Honestly, shit.
Absolutely, yeah. I wouldn't roll the dice on that. Like, I would choose any other option. It's kind of like going to Florida.
I had a gun pointed at me as a kid as a JW, so I take that very seriously. But yeah, also so you didn't know that there was a JW in Spain who actually did live memorial crashes on YouTube. I think he hit like 4. I think he hit about the same amount as I did. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because he literally sat through the memorials live on his YouTube channel.
Man, that's so awesome! Like
that's great, right? That like other languages are getting the message. Hell yeah!
That's the power of aggressive activism.
That's what I like to see.
It should be aggressive because
now, interestingly enough, he has like a shitload more support than aggressive activism does over here. It seems like, just looking at his comment section and all that stuff, people are really like rallying around that dude.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good.
That's how now I want to see that in every language. Every language JW's got that shit in. We need to have one in that language too.
Yep. That's it. We need branches. This is like the beginning of Project Mayhem.
Oh my god.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
We need to have a 1-for-1 battle with these dudes.
Yep. Yeah, they couldn't handle a 1-for-1 info battle.
Hell no.
Just because, for the simple fact that we have multiple places to pull honest information from, including their own shit, which does a fine job of laying out why you shouldn't be a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
On every page you click on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And like the farther back you go, the worse it gets. Oh my god, it gets so much worse.
They're racist, they're misogynist, they encourage abuse of spouses, children, other people's kids,
animals,
some things that aren't ever written that like I always knew that if needed, an elder could come by and get me and whoop me at the meeting from my parents. Like they said, like during local needs on the platform, because there was a lot of little kids at my age as I was growing up. And they said, if you can't keep your kids under control, just get one of the elders and we'll take them out of the auditorium.
Wow. Get a free beating at every meeting.
That's the worst CC's ad ever.
I'm not going to that CC's anymore. Shit.
I just wanted a piece of mac and cheese pizza. They whooped my ass. I got up at the wrong time.
Oh my god. Actually, that sounds really good. Mac and cheese pizza. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that CC's used to do mac and cheese pizza down south. I don't know if that was a across the board thing.
Yeah,
but
no. I remember they used to do that. They also had, I think, taco pizza at one point. Didn't they also have like a brownie pizza or a cookie pizza?
Cookie, yeah, it was like a chocolate chip cookie pizza. It was so good.
They also had soup and salad and all that good shit.
I tell you what wasn't good was the fruit cocktail pizza. I don't know if you ever had that one.
No, yeah. I would never eat something like that. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yes, it was pretty gnarly. I think it was they wanted it to be like a fruity dessert, but it was legit. Like somebody poured a number 10 can of like heavy pear fruit cocktail on a pizza crust, and like I think it might have been like cream cheese or something on it.
Oh, dude, that's so gross. What if it was what's that shit? What if it was cottage? What if it was cottage cheese? Because like that's what people like to eat fruit with is cottage cheese.
My mom used to do every summer. She would do cottage cheese and canned peaches, and I'm like, please
was your
don't.
Mom white? Just kidding.
My mom was terrible, but
you like mayonnaise too? Damn.
Oh yeah, she was.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was very.
I think your mom might be broken. I'm just kidding.
Hey, no, I'm not. I won't shit on her. She does have a Jerry curl, but
I'm just picking on her. I like mayonnaise too. Damn it, shit. Like
I like mayonnaise on burgers. I like mayonnaise. I guess I like mayonnaise.
Yeah, I like mayonnaise. I ain't trying to like drink that stuff, but I like mayonnaise. You know what I mean?
I'm not dipping my fries in mayonnaise either.
What's wrong with you? Don't do that. If you do that, get out of my damn house. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not dipping my fries in mayonnaise. No.
Oh my lord, no.
CC's be trying to love. Exactly. Welcome to CC's. It's the same thing. Like,
welcome to CC's. We love you.
Exactly.
just like in Idiocracy. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna happen any day now, man.
See, why not? At this point, like nothing is shocking. Like
YouTubers tell you that they love you. I just said it in my last video, my memorial video, but that was actually a joke. It was meant to be as a joke about how YouTubers say "I love you," which is weird to me a little bit. They're like, "I love you guys. I love you all." It's like, no, you don't. You don't know who the hell I am. You barely know me, even if I give you money. So stop it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, no, we ain't gotta love each other. Like, I'll support who I need to.
Yeah. We don't have to love each other. Like,
We gotta love each other.
let's just be parasocial friends. How about that?
Right.
Where I just watch your videos and occasionally you throw me a little heart on my comment on YouTube, and that's good enough for me.
Especially us, you know what I mean? Like we've lived through like the artificial love and the gathering invitations. Like,
Well, that's the problem with what happened with You Know Who is that like everybody needed that replacement. That's why I call his channel the XJW Methadone Clinic, because it's that's what it is.
you know, it truly is. Like the information is the information. Like there's not like
Yeah, but
there's
they need
no
the substitute for the meetings and for the what do you call it? The association after
the
meetings.
association, the wholesome association.
Yes, and that's what you get in the comment section or on the viewer takeover part of his videos. He has this thing where you can jump into his like StreamYard like you are right now, and he'll let you say whatever you want on camera. Of course, the rules are you have to have an active a working camera and a working mic that's kind of good, I guess. As long as it's not so shitty that we can't hear you. What is
Yes.
it? Oh my goodness. That's great.
Too good.
That's awesome.
But no, I just from the beginning, like even like during the whole Mike and Kim saga, I just felt like that was a side that I didn't really need. And then the whole crisis of conscious thing. And information is information. And for a time, like he was like one eggs, that's it. You got to pay to play. And I don't want to play with the organization anymore. Like I feel like you guys, like Professor Asher, I don't know him emotionally amazing yet, but I'm sure I'll get to know you.
That's
Frank,
Will.
like,
Will is cool.
Will, awesome. I'm glad you're here if you're cool, but I want to see this over. Like, I don't really, if somebody said your comic can make $2 quadrillion, but it has to exist while the organization exists,
I'd say fuck that.
Keep the comic. And there's no bullshit. I just want I want the organization to not exist. That is not speaking on individual Jehovah's Witnesses, because I do feel like that their only safety is for the organization to no longer exist. If that means that certain countries ban the organization, we should not. I guess it's not. I shouldn't say we, because I'm no leader. But I would never speak out against against a country banning the Watchtower and using the atrocities that the country is doing to Jehovah's Witnesses as a reason why you shouldn't support a ban, because I believe that is another form of political neutrality. Mm-hmm. And I also believe that it spits in the face of completely different human rights activists who have suffered and died so that we would be able to use our voices a little bit more now. You know, if you're going to say, look at what they do to them in Russia because the witnesses are banned, so let's not have Jehovah's Witnesses.
That's an easy solution.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that people who abuse children should have to face the death penalty just because. I don't think people should abuse children. I feel like after you make that choice, whatever dominoes fall after that, you set it in motion. Like,
yeah, just like how Lloyd should be not, bitching and moaning about how Kim said some shit after he told her. He didn't have to do that. He also didn't have to do the thing that he did to tell her in the first place. You know what I mean? If he didn't have shit to tell her about, maybe there wouldn't be none of this going on, right? Maybe you didn't cheat on your wife. You wouldn't have had nobody to tell had to tell anybody about it because you wouldn't feel guilty about it.
Thing is, like anybody could make accusations about me with stuff like that, mm-hmm. and I would say, hey everybody, none of that stuff is true. Thanks for hanging out.
Imagine if I made an expose video on you. I'm like, all right, everybody, Fogbreaker Studios over
Fall
here
Breaker,
cheating.
more like Nail Biter Studios. That's the most exciting thing that
More
I
like,
do.
more like Home Wrecker Studios over here cheating on his wife.
What's up, Jonathan? How's it going, man? Home Breaker. That's it. That's me. Home Breaker.
Home Wrecker.
Oh man, but no, I don't. I won't ever. I won't share common ground with people who speak out on effective activism.
Good.
You
Neither
know,
do I.
and the Jehovah's Witnesses are up to no good, guys. Like,
Oh, yeah.
bottom line. Well, thanks for hanging out while you're working, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Jonathan ran a pretty. I don't know what the final numbers on it were, but Jonathan and Ryan and who else was it? Is it JW Thoughts? I can't remember the other.
What, Wally? You talking about
Was it
Wally?
Wally? Yeah, I think
That's
it
JW
was.
Thoughts.
Yeah. They did like a 3-part like symposium of lives last night
Nice.
and they were raising money for the Ukraine. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
But we don't have a set in stone topic for tonight, Jonathan. We're just kind of
Just chatting.
yeah, like I've had a long week and I didn't really know if I was going to do anything this week or not. And then I reached out to Ash about the same time I reached out to some other folks and just figured we would just get on and shoot the shit for a little bit, see what happens. So we've been up and down and around a little bit, but we'll see where else the wind takes us. But no, you missed the hall crash footage, which was awesome.
From
Zeb
Zen.
went into a hall and did his thing, and it made some. Yeah, it was a good one. He was very like I would give him all G's in his anti-theocratic ministry school guidebook. You know.
Well, that's it. I'm fucking triggered. No, I'm just kidding.
So, that reminds me. So I'm doing a run of mini comics to like kind of like stem in between my comic and my next comic. And I'm going to call it Trigger Tracks.
Oh no. That's good.
I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 at a time. But I just figured like I just wanted to do something that kind of like Chick Tracks because those are horrible.
Yeah, they are fucking awful. I find them discarded by bus stops all the time.
How about other forms of activism? I think that any activism is worth trying as long as it's not something that's going to like y'all. I don't really have to give y'all. I'm not gonna do the disclaimers thing. You guys know that I obviously am not talking about violence, but I believe that any opportunity that you have to get in front of a Jehovah's Witness or a group of Jehovah's Witnesses or people who could be affected by Jehovah's Witnesses. If you think something might work, if you think a phone call to the Kingdom Home might work, if you think that, writing a comic would work, if you think that going into a Kingdom Hall would work, if you think that getting a service card, like I know where you can buy them. I know the website where you can buy the service cards.
I thought I found it once, but I couldn't find a place to order it. It like just
it's 2 different places in North Carolina. One does the carts and one does the signage.
I want a cart. You got to hook me up because when it's time for cart season again, I'm gonna start rolling up with my own fucking cart and parking right next to them.
Oh, that would be so awesome! Yeah,
they're gonna be like, "Who the hell are you?" I'm gonna be like, "What's up, brothers and sisters? Just coming to spread my message with you, side by side."
I'm talking about the same thing y'all are talking about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, they would be like, okay, that's it. They would pack up and try to leave, but I'd just keep setting up right next to him. I'd be like, I'm mobile too, bitch. What you want?
Yeah, we should all be together so that we can talk about the same thing. They can ask you questions directly, and I can answer questions directly.
Yeah. I love
no.
talking to them at carts. That's like one of my favorite ways to interact with them, because usually they're more receptive. I mean, unless you go out guns blazing and you're like, "What's up?
Right.
I'm an apostate. Screw you!" Like spit on
Yep.
your cart. Yeah, unless you're doing stuff like that, or telling your dog to attack their cart or pee on it or something. They're probably going to be okay to talk to you about stuff. I've had long discussions with them on my channel. Like there are a bunch of
Okay,
them.
so that's actually not a bad place to light for a minute, Ash. Like, what's a good icebreaker if you want to like not just run them off? Because sometimes they need to be run off, but if you don't want to just run them off and you want to keep them there, like what's the approach? Because it's obvious when we start to speak the same language that we know something that
That's why
most don't.
tip number one is, if you're trying to actually have a discussion with them, avoid using JW language. Like, instead of saying Kingdom Hall, say church. Instead of saying meetings, say services. Stuff like that. Just replace those tiny little types of terms, that you would normally use as a JW, and then they won't think that you were previously affiliated with them. They'll be
Right.
more likely to talk to you. If you start saying terms that they know, and you kind of forgot that you were doing that, a good way to get out of that is to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a JW, by the way. I just have a friend who was one, and like I talk to them about it sometimes, so I know a
Yeah.
few things, but I don't know
Yeah.
much." Because
Yeah.
I've had
I
that
went to
happen to me
school.
before.
I went to school with a Jehovah's Witness, and they told me you guys went to a Kingdom Hall.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
that's a good way to get out of it. I've had that happen to me before, where I'm like, "Oh shit, I just said some things. Well, time to pretend I knew one of y'all." But yeah, and that's step one, is just watch your language. And I don't mean the swearing, because they're probably more likely to run away from you if you use JW words than if you use swearing.
Sure, of course. They'll just think you're like a poor wretch if
Right.
you swear in front of them.
Right, exactly. They'll just think, "Oh well, they don't know the truth yet. That's why they
Yeah.
talk like that."
He's
So
worldly. Look at those fish bones and trash coming out of his mouth.
right. So after that, like, if you got your language going, you're good on that. What you want to do is also make sure that your approach is not combative. You don't go up to them being like, "So you guys know you're wrong, right?" Don't do that. Like, even if you're not like straight up yelling at them, don't just try not to approach it like you're automatically accusing them of shit or automatically accusing them of being wrong. You want to just like ask them questions like, "So hey, I'm just curious, what do you guys believe about this?" Or, "How do you guys feel about this thing that's happening in current events?" Or if you do want to talk to them about something that's happened in the news, you can be like, "Hey, I just saw a story about y'all in the news. Do you guys know what happened with that Australian Royal Commission?" And they might pretend like they don't know, but if they do that, then you can just pull up the video on your phone and be like, "Here you go," and that's boom, you win. Like, you've already fucking, that's a successful crash already.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they do say they know about it, and then they start saying that was lies and stuff, then you can be like, "No, it was on a government website. Here, I can show you." And then
Yeah.
boom, once again. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. It really depends on which way you want to go with it. You can even talk about how you have a friend who was personally abused, or like that you personally have a friend who was abused by Jehovah's
Yep.
Witnesses, and you know of some of their story that they've shared with you. Like, but these are things like, that you can just introduce like midway into the conversation, after you've kind of lulled them into a sense of, okay, we're just having a nice chat about Jehovah, and I'm getting my time in. Which is, let's be real here, that's like most of what they care about. So they're willing to put up with some long, crazy shit conversations just to get their time in. They really are.
Absolutely, yeah.
As long as you're not outright saying you're an apostate, most of the time they'll put up with whatever.
They'll talk about whatever, because you're just trained to glaze over and smile and nod and read Psalms 83:18.
Yeah, so tip number one was watch your language. Tip number two is, don't be combative. Try to like tailor your approach to be more friendly or inquisitive. Asking questions is always better than accusing. Always. Like, even if you want to ask them about something, like, hey, like, about the child abuse policies that they have and stuff, like, you can find a way to ask it that's not going to be like, aggressive and combative or whatever the hell.
You could ask them if their preaching work will end when they reach 900,999,999 members since Jesus ran circling benefit millions of people. Yep.
Yeah, Professor is he's an advanced crasher here. He likes to do the really the hat tricks and stuff. He likes to do
Yes.
the cool stuff.
Professor is like XJW Gandalf. Like,
Yeah, he's a historian of Watchtower,
yeah,
pretty much.
he's a
He knows more than
historian. He's
anybody
going
I
to
know.
break down their secret society connections, and that's pretty much it.
And yeah,
Oh,
like
I
somebody's
meant
pointing out in the chat, if you
I'm
accidentally
from a posh state. Yes.
yeah, if you accidentally say some apostate shit, just be like, yeah, well, I have a friend who is a JW, you know,
No.
and they told me these things.
No.
Or you can even lie and say that you saw it on the news, and it's like it's on the news. It's not like you're lying. That's the thing.
Right.
Yeah, you can just you can say whatever you want to these people. It's really not that hard. And yeah, just be confident. Don't be nervous. You know,
I was going to say being confident
matters.
is important because you don't really have confidence as a witness because
and remember, you are right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're constantly in a fallback position to hit you with that jw.org QR code. That's really all they're going to fall back on.
This is another tip. If they try to hit you with the fucking go to the website, just tell them I already did and I couldn't find the answer on there, because they're going to try to do that to shut you down, to shut down the conversation. Be like, sorry, I already
believe. Yeah. What do
you? Yeah,
believe?
you can also alternatively ask them, but what about your personal beliefs? I'd like to hear how you explain it personally, because the website wasn't very clear for me and it really didn't explain it very well for me. How about you explain it?
Right.
Which is bullshit, because let's be real, the website is made for somebody who's like 2 years old to read.
It's my book of Bible stories with current pictures. It's really the information is like watered down and mushed up. Like it takes effort to find out the things that most of us who are like active in the community.
Right. They tried to tell me that that line once when I asked them about the ARC. They were like, yeah, we've heard about that stuff. You can find out more information on our website. There's a news part of that. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I was like, no, there was nothing about that in there, actually. Strangely, it was absent. And they were like, oh, well, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Funny that. They have like a whole court. Yeah, they have a whole court case like tab on the website. But
it's kind of fucked, actually, if you think about it. If your religion needs a damn court case tab, you're in the wrong damn religion, son.
But it's digital lip service, because it's nothing about the actual court cases that the witnesses are in.
I know.
Like,
I can only imagine how useless it is.
Jehovah's Witnesses who are in the court, who are involved in the court cases that are on the website, are also victims of the organization. They're not struggling because they're Jehovah's Witnesses. They're struggling because Jehovah's Witnesses exist, and they make bad choices behind it. Namely, my family. I can't speak. I know that I'm not unique in the situations that I've gone through with my family, but I'll only speak about my family. I've talked to my family about me and asked them what their feelings was about what the organization says about me now being on the outside. And they know me, and they know that I believe this stuff and I lived it. And they still will say, what does the Watchtower say? What does the website say? And I'm saying, no, like, this is us. Like, we struggled separately of what we went through at the Kingdom Hall. So because we struggled together this way, let me ask you, what's happened to me. What I feel like is wrong. You are choosing to not associate with me for regular reasons. Like, these are reasons that anybody else. I saw a documentary, Recreation, of the Jonestown massacre. Yeah, you know, they also hold those regularly at Kingdom Hall cleanings now since the pandemic is over. No, I'm joking, but it wouldn't surprise me. There's just been so much that I've been reading about them, but just to finish up my point, your own family will direct you to the website if you try to question them about this, when we all existed long before the .org website. Uh-oh. I think Ash might be getting swatted. You good?
Oh yeah, sorry. I just like, what the hell is that noise? Like, because it's not. I'm not expecting rain, but it sounds like thunder outside. I'm like, somebody bombing my ass, or?
I thought you was getting swatted.
Nope. It's raining out of nowhere. That's so weird because it literally says right now that it's clear outside, and I was just outside before the stream started and it was clear. So that's so weird. But it is actually pouring right now. So yeah, somebody in the chat though, they were saying replace their QR code. I think that was Jonathan that said that.
Yeah, Jonathan said that.
Replace their QR code with your own. If y'all need a QR code that goes directly to that moment in the ARC testimony where Jeffrey Jackson is asked about if they're God's only channel, I got a QR code for you. Just hit me up. I'll send it to you. You can put it on. You can put it on stuff that you want to hand out to them, or replace it like he said, or do what I do and go into their Zoom meetings and make that your camera. That's always fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff you can do with the QR code. So just hit me up if you need it. You know where to find me. I'm here. I'm on Discord. I'm on Twitter. I'm all over the place. Got lots of resources for people who want to go apostating.
Whenever somebody says something like this, Ash, like I always feel like there needs to be like even if it's a small section. I hope you don't mind. Like I really feel like I feel like that's always something that should be discussed, because I think that every community is important, because I feel like that there are people who get it everywhere, and I don't feel like that they should be shut out. But I've noticed particularly, and I'm not shitting on it, but I've noticed particularly on the Reddit community, like they're very quick to shoot down any possibility of the Jehovah's Witnesses doing something extreme. But I don't really think that that's I think that that's I would never underestimate the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society. Living what I lived, I would never underestimate them. So this is the last time I'm gonna put this up, but it's just kind of that. It's kind of that thing. But
no, I agree with you, man. Like, there's like, you remember when I don't remember who it was that asked, but it was a long time ago. Somebody asked in a JW, like, and was it a JW group? Yeah, it was a JW group. Somebody asked, like, if the governing body told you to take a pill, would you do it? And they were like, most of the people were like, yeah, I would do it.
Wouldn't think said twice about it.
Yeah, so like that's like, it's coming, man. It's totally, that's like the next step, man. 100%. And I know that sounds all conspiracy theory and whatever the fuck, but like literally they've been leading up, they've been kind of preparing, you know, their members for this. They've been mentally preparing them for the idea that that's going to be something that they might have to do. So yeah, I believe that that's possible. I wouldn't discount that. I don't care if that makes me seem like a nut, because I think that's possible, but I think
it doesn't make you seem like a nut. It makes you seem like
I've been paying attention to their literature.
Yeah. Like this is like the go-to of that. Like there's a million other things. And I also say, if you ever want to know what Watchtower is cooking up to do to all of us, you just read the yearbooks and see what's happened in Africa. Read the yearbooks and see what's happened in Africa over the years. That's like the testing ground. This article from the 2013 Watchtower, November 15, paragraph 17. Always pay attention to paragraph 17 in Watchtowers. I don't know why, but if there's a gem to be pulled out, it's usually between 14 and 17. But 17 is always important. It's usually right after a picture, not in this case. So it says elders who are reading this article can draw some useful conclusions from the account we have just considered. Number one, the most practical step that we can take to prepare for the coming attack of the Assyrian is that the strengthening of our faith in God and helping our brothers to do the same. When the Assyrian attacks, the elders must be absolutely convinced that Jehovah will deliver us. That means that no matter what happens, don't do anything different. They tell you, like that's that. At that time, life-saving direction that we will receive from the organization may not appear practical from a human standpoint. All of us must be ready to obey any instructions we may receive, whether these appear sound from a strategic or human standpoint or not. So now is the time for any who may be putting their trust in secular education, material things, or human institutions to adjust their thinking. The elders must stand ready to help any who may now be wavering in their faith. Number 4 is just there to take away the sting of number 3. Number 4 is what they always say. Number 3 is all of us must be ready to obey any instructions we may receive, whether these appear sound from a strategic or human standpoint or not. Asher, what is involved in that? What would be illogical that they could ask you to do that they would need to tell you to not worry about it in a watchtower?
Nothing fucking good.
Nothing.
Nothing good.
Can I ask you to eat vanilla pudding on one foot? No, that's not what they're talking about.
Nah, they're talking about sacrificing yourself or your family members or both.
Yep. Yeah, it absolutely.
Or even your property on a less murderous level, like stuff like your property and your money. And like, here, give us all your property, sell everything off and give it to us. Don't ask questions, just do it. Shit.
See?
Or move on to our compound in Warwick that we're building. Wait, is that where they're building it? Where the fuck are they building?
Yeah, it's gonna be out in.
It's not in Warwick. Where is it?
No.
Ramapo.
Yeah, Ramapo is where they bought that new land. Speaking of that, Asher, so you got this new Watchtower Education Center that was made out of a hospital.
Yeah,
but they're going to use it they're going to use it as a recording studio for everything that I can find.
But it has medical people in it. Not recording people. That's weird.
But yeah. Have you seen that? Like what do they call it? They call it Hollywood. Like that's kind of like the name on the JW tours, like when they take them around.
That's terrible.
Hollywood.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash. Fuck it.
But when you combine that with all the current technology, you combine that with how Hollywood basically came from being like the spiritual magical wand, and it was supposed to, like, the message was it would leave you spellbound. And then you go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of how many people in this Kingdom Hall that Zeb went in were still checked out while he's using a pretty loud voice in a pretty small space. There were people that were still like talking and laughing and probably talking about what they were doing before.
Yeah, they just didn't care. They just ignored him.
Our people say silly things like in that video, the number 3 update, where the little kid is saying, I'm 7 years old and I've been so patient to get back to the Kingdom Hall. You were 5 years old when the Kingdom Hall closed.
I feel like that didn't even happen anyway. That feels like some shit that never happened land.
Yes, it's from never would have happened land. Exactly.
Like, yeah, right. No 5 years. Did you see that video? There, you know why they put that in there? They probably saw that video of the kid crying. You know the one I'm talking about, right? That where the mom's asking, do you want to go back to the Kingdom Hall? We're gonna go back, yay! And the kid's like, no.
She's like, hell nah, cuz.
I'm gonna send you that video. Actually, you want to see it?
Oh
really
yeah, I
sad.
definitely do. It is sad
It
because
hurts my
kids know.
feelings. I feel so bad for that kid. I just want to like take them away and send them to a nice family that doesn't take them to the damn Kingdom Hall. Because I
I
know
just
what that was
remember
like.
I remember watching kids that were barely old enough to walk get picked up and whooped for not sitting still at the meetings.
Yeah,
That's not right. It's not right.
that was
It's
my
not right.
childhood.
Yeah, it was mine too. Like my mom used to keep a little wooden spoon in her meeting bag,
Holy
but
shit, a spoon?
she never used it. But she always threatened us. She wouldn't have done it in public. She would have done it to us at home. She wouldn't have done it in public. But my mom would pinch. Like if I fell asleep at the
Oh,
meeting,
I got the pinch in the back of the
my
arm.
mom would pinch the back of my arm where
That's the
nobody
worst
could
part.
see, and you were powerless to react, and you knew your reaction would lead to like a whole body pinch. So you tried to keep it in the road.
Yeah,
But
those pinches to the back of the arm were the fucking worst. They hurt so much.
yeah.
Oh my god, I can't even. Oof,
Yep.
oof, man, that shit hurt.
Yep. Remember wiping my tears in those wooden brown paper towels, and it
Yeah,
was always so noisy just to get one out.
so evil, man. So evil.
It's evil to kids. Like the organization is evil to kids. Like that's really
100%.
the only way to really say it is they beat kids, like they tame kids like animals, and that's how you create the next wave of Jehovah's Witnesses, is by like overboard punishments to kids. And once, as a parent, once you've done it enough, it's hard to really justify stopping, because you've done it, and that's admitting that you were wrong to do it, but it also admits why you were wrong to do it. But then the kids lose any kind of like spice or fire or anything that they could ever have that resembled a personality, because they don't want to get beat all the time. Oh, you sent it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. This is the best like substitute talk in history, even though it's not really a substitute talk because it's supposed to be my talk, but I
Huh?
didn't really prepare for this talk. I said this is the best like non-topic video.
Oh yeah. I was like, what? I didn't send you a talk. What are you talking about? I was very confused for a minute. I was like, well,
Sorry
hold
about
on. Oh, did I send you a talk? I'm sorry.
I sent you the wrong thing. No, you
Yeah,
didn't.
that'd be like somehow like I think that's the only way that could be slightly worse than sending you the little girl crying is like if I sent you a boring ass talk to listen to. Sorry,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. We all about to watch this little girl cry though, so get ready.
Yes, yeah, and get your tissues, man. It ain't
Yeah,
easy to
we
watch.
didn't make her cry. Like first of all,
Yeah, and it is super blurry, so you're not going to be able to tell who she is really. So that's
oh,
good.
it's okay.
No,
All
that's a
right.
good thing. That's a good thing. I don't want
Yeah.
her to be recognizable.
All right, here we go. Oh man,
And JWs were sharing this like it was supposed to be funny.
they think it is.
You know what? We're going to start going to the Kingdom Hall.
I don't want to go.
It'll be fun.
I don't want to go.
It'll be so fun. You don't want to go to the Kingdom Hall? We're going to go there for the meetings and you can see your friends. Doesn't that sound good?
No.
No.
Let's go to the Kingdom Hall.
I don't want to go.
Come on, let's go.
So that's absolutely what happens every time you don't want to go to the Kingdom Hall as a kid. The amount of times that you have to build up. Like, here's the thing, and it's like kids do this anyway, but you have to lie to not go to the Kingdom Hall sometimes. It's the only way you cannot go to the Kingdom Hall as a kid. You have to tell a lie. You have to either really be sick or you have to lie about being sick. And to force your kids to lie, to sit there and be around people who in real life usually have ties to people who abuse children.
Yeah, man. Dude, that's what I was thinking when I was watching that video the first time is like, what if she's afraid of somebody at the hall?
Who is so friendly that always wants the parents to let their kids sit with them.
Yeah, who's all
Because
her friends? Are they all children or are they some adults?
oh my
And even
gosh.
then, sometimes the children are sketchy too. I mean, like I've heard of cases of that where older children will be abusing the younger children and then the parents will cover that shit up too.
Yep. We ended up getting a family at our Kingdom Hall with this high school kid who had abused multiple kids in that 6 and under range. And it's not kids being kids. It's wrong. And it doesn't matter what happened. If somebody puts their hands on you and you don't want them to, and if somebody puts their hands on you and you're a kid, you should tell somebody. Like, I really hope that there are no kids watching my channel, but if they are, or if you're an adult and you never said anything, the shit that you think was wrong, that you never really said, you probably think it was wrong because it was wrong. Something could have happened, and you should say something, because it's not. I don't want to say obviously it's not every single Jehovah's Witness, but there's enough of a problem to assume that it's everywhere. Like, you remember at the beginning of the pandemic, they were like, okay, if you get symptoms A, B, and C, and you don't have a test or you can't get to a doctor, you should just assume that you have COVID and stay home. If you've been at the Kingdom Hall and you have a question of something that's happened to you, even beyond like sexual abuse, if you feel like something has happened that was just wrong, you're probably right. You're probably right, because if you've smiled through things that you wouldn't stand for at your job, then you've probably been mistreated at the Kingdom Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people making me bring watermelons to every gathering, like for all those years, like that's messed up.
They did not.
I didn't tell. I thought we talked about that.
Did
I must have.
Oh my god, maybe I was just half awake or something. But
No,
holy shit.
It may have not been you.
Holy shit! They made you do that.
I didn't have my driver's license for quite a while, and I didn't really start hanging out with people until I was like 19.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that you had to have a driver's license in order to not take the fucking watermelon to the gathering.
So my dad used to always bring me to gatherings, and like, you remember how JW gatherings were? Like, you would get invited, and then they would say, okay, you bring cups, you bring paper plates, you're bringing dessert. And it was like a bunch of like weekends I had gone. And one day my dad was just like, why do they always tell you? Why do you always have to bring the watermelon?
Because you have such a huge stock of them as, a black man, of course.
Exactly.
You have a whole room just for that.
Free, right? You get them for free. That's part of your lineage.
You have a fucking watermelon farm, obviously.
And so
these fucking people, I swear to God, if I had been in that congregation, I would have said some shit.
You can't, we're never going to be able to break the organization down until we get to racism, and until there's a conversation about what has happened and what they've said in the past. We're never really could, because in that is the control, right? Like, in that system of racism is the control. Mm-hmm. And right now, like, they're down south, like, there's always an effort to bring in more and more and more people in your neighborhoods. In North Carolina, like, that's going to be a lot of black folks. And the white folks that were there, like, a lot of them had like money. So it creates a cushion for some people, and it just cramps everybody else. And that's fine for them.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I was just gonna say somebody is asking, did the Mexican kids get asked to bring the beans? So as a part
Yeah.
Mexican person, I can answer that. So like I live in Texas and in San Antonio, which is like huge Hispanic population. So for the most part, like most of our gatherings were fucking beans and rice and shit. Like I guess we had the few white people that would bring like the weird casserole with all the weird shit in it.
Oh, the green
I
stuff,
don't
the
I don't
green
mean any offense.
marshmallow, the
Yeah,
green
not
marshmallow.
just that nasty shit. I think that was called what, Jello salad or something, marshmallow
We
salad.
called
I
it
don't
green
remember.
stuff. It was green
Yeah,
stuff.
it was that shit from Troll, that movie Troll. That's what that is. I mean, I tried it once. I think it was like lime flavored.
Yeah.
It was not it.
Mm,
I wasn't into
yeah.
that. And
That's
then
like
there was some
sweet
other shit with.
mayonnaise.
They had some other shit that had mayonnaise in it, but that was supposed to be a dessert. And like, I'm sorry, like I really don't mean any offense to like, white culture or anything, but it really usually was the white people bringing that, or like the casseroles that had like, they put like just a bunch of random ingredients in there. They're like, here you go, it's food. I'm like, cool. And I looks good, but then I taste it and there's no seasoning in it. And I'm like, damn it, every time. But yeah, for the most part, it was all right. I did get introduced to some really good other cultural dishes that weren't part of my culture. Like I got to introduce to curry that way because we had an
Oh,
Indian
nice.
sister. But that's the thing. Now you're making me realize that they were asking the ethnic people to bring ethnic stuff because they asked the Indian sister to bring her curry every time.
Every gathering is an opportunity to have your very own little international convention.
Right.
But when you realize that the leaders are the ones that's bringing the macaroni and cheese that has breadcrumbs and cauliflower in it, like how like just give me the bread and wine, like just give me the bread and wine, like I don't want to eat that.
I don't want to eat any stuffing that got
Mexican
raisins
rice
in it.
is so good.
No.
Like
what are you putting raisins in the damn stuffing for? You stop that right now.
Raisins go in field trip lunches. That's it. You get a box of raisins in your field trip lunch. Sometimes, like for intermission, like only Fridays at the assembly. Circuit assemblies are too short. You ain't got to stretch your money long enough to use raisins. But you can bring them on Friday and you save them for school field trip lunches. Don't put raisins in anything that's got mayonnaise in it.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, potato salad with raisins. Like,
yeah, just
say it out loud. Say the whole thing out loud before you make it.
Yeah, stop it.
Get fruit cocktail pizza? No. Stop
it. Stop that. Help. Yeah, you need to
cauliflower in your mac and cheese when it's called mac and cheese.
You need to be put in jail.
Mac and cheese and cauliflower. Gotta go.
Your kitchen is being revoked from you by the government because you don't deserve a kitchen. What's wrong with you?
Your kitchen invitation is revoked.
Oh yeah, and yeah, at the international convention, that's the only time you're allowed to have any culture. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking to an African XJW, and he said that he said that the sisters were allowed to really like be ornate and like represent their culture, but African brothers still had to wear the men's warehouse suits. Like there's no escape for men in suits, especially black men, because you gotta be a little businessman.
Hey,
at all times.
Speaking of stuff like that, you know how on Jake's stream earlier they were talking about the the rumor we always heard growing up. We all heard it about how fucking secondhand stuff is possessed by demons.
Oh right. Yeah.
So I have a theory for why they did that. I think that was started by, the higher up JWs to discourage people from looking too shabby. They want to make them look nice. Buy
new clothes, new shoes.
Mm-hmm. Right. Don't be buying your meeting clothes from no garage sale. You got to go to Men's Warehouse. You got to go to Kohl's. You got to go to
JCPenney.
Yep. Exactly. So, yep. That's what I think that shit is. Now for the Smurf rumor, I can't really say what the hell that would be. It's probably just a dumbass brother trying to be funny.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Don't cancel me. Anybody who that didn't happen to anybody. I'm
No,
just
of
gonna
course
say
not.
I'll
Well,
just
of
say it
course
that way.
not.
Like that's a
There-
made up story.
Yeah,
And
no
I
shit.
do believe and I've experienced like supernatural stuff and like and
Oh,
I felt
Smurf
like it's
getting up in a
been
meeting.
built around the Kingdom Hall or built around the organization. But anybody who tells you that Smurf story and says, well,
It
you know
really
what?
happened.
It happened to me. Nope.
Bullshit.
It didn't happen to you. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I don't believe that
There,
can
there
be
is
proven.
there is somebody
And
online who claims it happened to
there's
her.
somebody online is telling a fibberoonie too.
Yeah, well, yeah, the only person I know of who currently claims that happened to her and that she's the originator of the story is pretty well known for telling those fibberoonies.
I told a Smurf toy that my kid got in a Happy Meal about that story, and I said, and this happened to them, and that Smurf got up and walked out of my house. I couldn't believe it. It wouldn't even listen to the story.
Fibberoonie.
So
Fucking liar.
yes,
You lying. You such a liar.
people with XJW in their name are people, and sometimes
They lie.
Sometimes they don't tell the truth, and I don't get it, but I get it. You know what I mean? Like we've been through a lot, and so some people don't really. Some people just kind of want to.
Some people need to fantasize and make their life more interesting. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, well, gotta try harder sometimes.
Some of us just read books, but it's fine. Whatever, it's play video games. Maybe that. I don't know. Shit. If it's legal, try some cannabis.
Yeah, it's
better than lying. I'll tell you that.
It's better to go somewhere where they do have it than it is to don't mess up those stories for the people who really went through them, because it's I know how incredulous some of the things that happened to me sound, because I gotta follow it up with, oh well, I saw somebody on YouTube that they own the Smurf that walked out of the Kingdom Hall. I'm like, well, no, that's nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I think that that's as ridiculous as anything. Yep.
Yeah, so if somebody says that to you, maybe take everything else they say after that, including that, with a grain of salt. A big-ass rock cave fucking sized grain of salt.
And if you got high blood pressure and you can't have salt,
don't hang out with that person, maybe.
Yeah, you might have to, insight to love. Insight to love one another and find Smurfs that twerks.
Oh, my Lord. That's not something I need in my head.
Cool. A twerking Smurf. That's it. I love it.
Nightmare fuel. There's everything wrong with that, Professor. I'm gonna kick your ass later.
So, I don't know. We've been over an hour. You wanna hear my ghost? You wanna hear one of my ghost stories, Asher?
Hell yeah, dude. I love ghost stories, especially the ones that are true. So let's hear it.
All right, so
this shit scares the shit out of me, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna sleep tonight.
I have a lot of these, so I'll only tell this one. I think I might have said it. If people on TikTok, they might have heard this one, but this is
I need to follow you on TikTok. I keep forgetting.
You need to follow me on TikTok. But so when my parents were staying, I'm the only one that was born in. My parents, my other brothers and sisters were
they lucky when they got to have a little bit of a childhood.
Yes. So my mom, it was in the late 70s, because I wasn't born just yet. But I've heard this story from my mom. I've heard it from my dad, which my dad is who makes me feel like it was true. But I've also heard it to the other side of this story, as far as the people who were studying with my parents. My mom progressed pretty quickly. But my mom progressed pretty quickly through the organization, and she was studying, and it was her who was the reason that we all became witnesses. But my mom was on the phone with the lady who was studying with her, and the lady says, "Linda, I thought you said you wasn't doing holidays no more." And she says, I'm not. Hold on. I've heard the Smurf story growing up, but I sure didn't know the person online was claiming it was them. Yep,
Yep.
it happened.
Yep, that's what she
That
said.
was-
She says that was her that originated that story,
Yep.
which is bullshit. I'm
So-
sorry, it is. It's bullshit.
So
It's bullshit. I'm not. I'm a I'm skeptic, but I believe some
Yep.
paranormal shit. Okay, so like it's not like I completely don't believe that paranormal shit happens or that it's possible. It's just that I know that that's bullshit. Or at least you know what? I'll even be a real skeptic and say, I think that's bullshit. I don't have any proof it's bullshit, but I guarantee you ain't nobody got proof that shit's true.
No, nobody has proof, and I don't.
So-
I feel like the source is
So I'm a Smurf atheist.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm a Gargamelian.
Gargamel. I'm gonna die over here, man.
Okay, so anyway, so this lady, sister P, calls and she's talking to my mom on the phone, and she says, "Linda, I thought you wasn't doing Christmas no more." And my mom says, "I'm not." And she says, "What's that music in your house?" My mom says she turns around and there is a full entire Christmas tree with all the dressings and presents and everything underneath it, all decked out. So she says, "I didn't put this tree in this house. I don't know where it came from. Nobody did it." And she said they started saying Jehovah on the phone over and over again. And then all but like one Christmas ornament vanished. My dad had to smash it with a hammer.
Wait, you saw this in your house? You saw this?
I didn't see it.
Oh shit.
My mom saw it. My dad saw the Christmas ornament that he didn't know where it came from. The elder and the sister told me this story completely separate of both of my parents several times when I was growing up.
Who actually visually witnessed it though?
My mom, and I don't know if my siblings were home at the time, but it would be my mom and my siblings. And don't Google Oral. Oh,
Yeah, don't Google that shit. That's nasty.
No, I don't know what it is.
If you Google that, you go to jail.
Yeah. You know, like how LeVar Burton used to always say, "You don't have to take my word for it." Like, I'm taking Professor's word for this. Like,
don't just take my word for it. Oh man, I love reading Rainbow.
Yep.
You need to see the DMX version of the Reading Rainbow song. It's hilarious.
Oh, I have. I love it.
That shit was the best. I died. Oh man. Rest in peace, DMX.
R.I.P. X.
Arf indeed, yes. Oh man.
So what's in the future for Asher? Like, what is Zoom activism wrapping up, or is there more to come? What do you think?
There's still more to come because in order to do one of the crashes that I did, I actually hit up, like literally in the fucking 11th hour, I hit up the elder that I had been studying with first last year, the one that I contacted to hit up for the Zoom memorial for last year's memorial. And I was like, "Hey, sorry I haven't been around in like 6-9 months, whatever the fuck." I told him basically my excuse was that my marriage was falling apart and all that shit. So I've just been kind of busy.
Yeah.
So I told him, "Hey, the next time," because I was thinking about you because, the way we started talking was the Lord's evening meal. So, next time that happens, hit me up. And he was like, "Oh," he hit me back like literally 2 minutes later.
Oh, he was like a thirsty one.
He was like, "Jehovah's fucking Holy Spirit." He was just like, "Nah." Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm serious. This is one of those who really loves what he does. He really does. So he was just 2 minutes later, I get an email back from him. Oh, I'm so sorry you're sick, because I told him I was sick. That was like my excuse in case he tried to ask me to come in person. So
Yeah.
I told it, he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you're sick, but you're just in time. Here's a link to the memorial. Hopefully you can join us." And he told me the time, he gave me the link, all that shit. And yeah, he actually emailed me the day after the memorial, telling me that he was like really glad to see that I was able to make it. He wasn't in the Zoom part. He was in, because they were having it in the assembly hall they have here in town. He was
Yep.
at the actual assembly hall. But
I see.
apparently he saw that I was there. I don't know how he saw. He must have been
Yeah,
either
how does
running.
that work?
I think he must have been running the shit, because he runs the Zoom
I
meeting,
see.
or he was running the Zoom meeting, or helping to run the Zoom meeting when they were still just doing that. So he probably saw me there. But yeah, so he told me he saw that I showed up. He was glad to see that, and he wanted to, he let me know when the meetings were again, if I wanted to start coming back. So yeah, basically the plan is I'm going to start hitting him up, and I'm also going to hit up I hit up my my other study that I had, which was with an ex-Bethelite's stepdad, and
That's
so
so
yeah,
awesome.
I'm gonna try to have two studies going at once, which is the craziest shit I've ever done, because I've only ever done one at a time. Like both those
Yep.
dudes, I did them at separate times. But I'm gonna see if I can actually swing two studies at once and actually be able to attend two different meetings at once, because they are in different time zones, so I can do it.
Oh, nice. That's
It's gonna
awesome.
it's gonna be hard though, because even when I was doing just one at a time, it was rough being a Jehovah's Witness again, basically. Because like I was having to study, I was having to make the meetings. Like even if I wasn't paying attention to the meetings, I still had to like know a little bit about what was happening, because I have
You
to
got to
talk
ask good
talk.
questions, right? Yeah, you got to ask good questions that say that you at least were
Right.
trying to be with it. Yeah.
Right. So like I usually have a lot of help though from Professor. Shout out to Professor, because
Yep.
that's another thing, is like I'm not just doing those things. I'm also doing my own personal on the side shit with Professor, or on my own studying to try to prepare for these assholes. I'm sorry to call them assholes. They're not all mean or anything. It's just like the elders, I don't really have too much regard for them, because they knowingly participate in covering up child abuse. So
Their company sucks, and
yeah,
so
and they're okay with it
because of
sometimes.
because of the level of unity you have to progress, then you either know or you are not paying attention to a fault.
Right. And I was thinking of, if I can get those two going, and it's pretty smooth, I might actually go fishing for a third in a different time zone. um, See how much I can get out of that. And yeah, I was gonna just try different stuff with different elders. These two elders that I have right now on the hook, they couldn't be more different, but they're two very good examples of different types of elders. Like for instance, elder number one, the first one that I contacted, he is one of those that's like he's like brainwashed himself. He really
Yeah.
believes the shit. He really loves to learn about the Bible, loves teaching the Bible, but he still is covering up, all this crap. And he's the one that's in that video that I put out, that's like 5 minutes of him saying like, "Oh yeah, but she promoted it." That's him. He's the nasty elder that was talking about the stuff that he's covered up before. That's him. So like he seems nice on the surface, and he makes you almost feel bad for tricking him at first, but then you realize he's that nasty guy.
They're
And then
only nice because they're Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't know if they're
right,
nice people or not, and
exactly.
that's
I get that vibe from him too.
yeah. They don't know if they're nice or not.
And then elder number two, he is a well, he's basically the one of the worst types of elders, because he just kind of makes his own rules up as he goes, it seems like. Because I've confronted him about certain stuff. I was like, yeah, actually another elder told me it was like this, and he's like, no, that's not how it is. And then like literally the way that we stopped studying recently was I told him that my wife was suspicious of Jehovah's Witnesses, and she wouldn't tell me why, told me to do my own research. And he tried to act all supportive and stuff, and he actually told me that, literally, this is what he said, and you can ask Professor, because he's heard it. I mean, it's on my channel too. That if Armageddon were to come tomorrow, it'd be fine, if I were in the middle of a break from studying so I can go deal with my marriage. He's like, you would be fine, and your daughter would be protected too.
He's a lion sack of
I know,
dude.
exactly.
He knows.
Exactly. He knows the
don't-
rules, and he made that shit up. That's what I'm saying. He's one of those types of elders that he'll just, kind of make some shit up, bend the rules wherever it suits him to get it done. You know what I mean? So, like, two examples of different kind of elders, but they're both, they're both valuable to look at in this context, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep putting out content of that, and probably some other projects that are happening. And of course, Zoom Crush is still, various places in the country.
I think it would be awesome for one of us to end up in a study with an elder who's ready to like get the information out. Like I think that is that would be one of the best case scenarios, because it's really through activism, it's only a matter of time.
Oops.
Before you good? Are you good?
Just jiggled my camera. Sorry.
It's only a matter of time before we run into somebody that has that's come to the same conclusions that we have, that just can't move about freely yet, or thinks they can't. And I guess that's the best way to say it. Everybody that says that they can't, you can.
Well,
like
see,
there's a price.
That second elder that I told you about,
yeah,
he told me, actually, here's some interesting stuff that he's told me that are in various recordings. On two separate occasions, two different recordings I have of him, two different studies, he told me about 1975 and 1914 to try to get out ahead of it. He was like, you might run into 1914 or 1975 stuff online, or people might tell you about those, blah, 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 blah. So he already did the new light shit with that in two different occasions with me. It's almost like he forgot he told me the first time. Yeah, he does shit like that. What else does he cover up for? I forgot. Like he has literally just. Oh, he's told me, like when I was telling him that my wife was, had some concerns but wouldn't tell me about him. He was trying to guess what it was. He was like, oh, well, maybe she read like, some apostate stuff or saw some stuff. I actually I was a Watchtower slave. I read that. He said, I've watched some apostate things. I'm not afraid of those things, and you shouldn't be either, he told me. He literally told me not to be afraid of looking at apostate stuff. So he must be really confident that I'm very brainwashed if he thinks that I can look at that shit.
Man, that's interesting. Maybe he wants you to push it. You know what I mean? It's like maybe he wants you to push it. Maybe you got like a connection and get some elder letters. Or is he gonna say, I knew you were a dirty apostate Bible study.
Oh my God. No, it's probably a shit test. He's probably trying to be like, let's see if he's okay with this shit. And if he's not, then he's not rightly disposed.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't have the right heart condition.
People, you can't put anything, like this is also a situation where you can't put anything past a witness. There's some slimy characters that know, in his defense, even though Trash Pandas are not entitled to everlasting, he will violate local laws to avoid executing.
Yes, that was something in a recording I got of him. He was telling me about how, because I was asking him, like, do animals live forever? Are they going to be all right too? And he was like, nope, they're not going to live forever. But then he went on to tell me later on that, like, yeah, I trapped the raccoons in my backyard, even though I know that it's illegal. Like, he literally told me he knows it's illegal, but I trapped them and released them. He said, what you're supposed to do is the law says you have to execute them if you've caught them. You have to put them down. But he said, I don't have the heart to do it.
So what does he catch them for?
He catches them to put them in a nearby park. Well, not a nearby park. It's kind of a ways away. But yeah, he puts them in a park. He's like, there must be like a whole family of them over there by now because I've caught so many and released them over there. Yeah, and that's very illegal for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, let's get all the rabies in one location.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't have the heart to kill them, though. It's like, oh, you don't have the heart to kill them, but you're fine with Jehovah just being like, fuck all the animals, bye.
Yeah, if an animal can't make it to the new system, why you should be able to get a blood transfusion for your animal. Because
if it's okay to break the law to like save a raccoon, What?
That's a weird thing.
I
That's a
know.
very odd story.
Life above the
Like,
law, right? But only for raccoons. Jehovah loves raccoons more than you. That's what I put on my tweet when I tweeted that video out. I was like, Jehovah loves raccoons more than he loves people.
don't forget,
It's a true story, though. Apparently,
catch a
according to that elder.
raccoon, catch a raccoon, but don't have the heart to kill him. But if your child comes into your driveway and wants to talk to you after 2 years, you better turn him away.
Yeah. Yeah, just turn your back to him, go inside the house, and pretend like he's dead. Because literally, Watchtower has said to treat them as though they're dead.
Yep.
Those exact
And
words.
and also Watchtower, along with that, and along with the logical or strategic thing, has said, here's how Jehu massacred apostates. And we don't encourage violence, but one day elders may have to act with courage similar to that of Jehu. Like, where does this information go? Where does it come from? Oh,
Sorry.
it's all good.
I was just getting my cat. Here we go.
Oh, there's a cat.
It's an asshole. He's trying to murder me. Ah! God. Oh, God.
So what's this about? What's this raccoon business?
He's like, I heard you say raccoons. I'm hungry.
Oh man,
He's a good boy. He hates me. He's like, put my ass down. What are you doing? Crazy. Oh, ow. He's a good boy. Content cat. Yep, that's right. He's a content cat.
JW's in the 60s. They should feed their dogs food with blood.
And there's my.
I remember that. I remember you and
Yes,
it was
my
Max
Sailor
that
Moon.
did that.
Oh, what did we do?
Oh,
me and not me, Professor.
Professor was talking about calling the halls and asking them about dog food with blood in it. Hey, Gary's another comic creator who did an awesome Dinosaurs versus Marsbot story. It's in 6 parts. 2 parts are out now. Check his Etsy for when they're available again. I got both of them, and they're fantastic. Like, if you guys are into comic books, it's definitely a must read for sure. Thanks for hanging out, Gary. I don't know how much longer we're going to be on, but we're just talking that old cult shit, talking about these JWs, like very sneakily and carefully guiding these people to a very untimely, creepy ending. But
cult shit.
Yeah,
Chester is a trash panda killer. Yes, he is. If he could get at them, he would. Actually, he would be afraid. He's a weenie. He has all his claws and everything, and he would still be like, "Please don't eat me, Mr. Trash Panda. Here, have my food. It's okay."
He's like Garfield with spiders.
Oh, man, that makes me want lasagna.
Lasagna is always a hit.
Yeah.
Well,
This has been a crazy whirlwind of different topics, huh?
I think that's kind of like my thing. I think that's kind of what I offer is I just kind of get on and I just go. Like, it's probably going to end up being like my digital undoing, but there's so much really to talk about with the organization. I still gotta believe that. I hope that there's time.
Yeah. I hope that they don't take forever. I hope they're done soon.
Yeah, well, I hope they're done soon, the way that we want them to be done soon, and not the way that they want to be done soon. Because think about it. How can you really just walk away from this? How can they really just let anybody and everybody just say, okay, pack up and go home now, guys? You know what I mean? Like, they can't deliver on what they claim. So we have to take that off the table.
Yeah.
And once that's off the table, like, this can't go on forever. And if we know that, I feel like that they know that too. So
Right.
what do? Their goal, the end game, is for them to take everything they can possibly take away before it all goes away. They have the means. They have the infrastructure. It's a dangerous thing. This governing body update number 3 was, is chilling too dramatic of a word? Because
No?
it's all shit that they said before, but you kind of get the different urgency, like when you see the condition of things that they affect. You know, the people that are left as witnesses are people that almost will believe anything, and they'll almost do anything. Like, there's really, other than young folks and the few older folks that do leave, which is sad, it's hard to get through. So it almost requires us to do like we do. Like, Asher has been going from before I was even when I was still a JW. Asher and Professor were already like seasoned, and it's
Man,
like
you
this.
make me sound delicious. I'm just kidding.
Well, you're definitely not mac and cheese with cauliflower. I guess that's just your thing.
Mac and cheese with cauliflower. Lord save us all.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we should wrap this up. We're almost at 2 hours.
All right.
I think that's good for now, but you're always welcome. I think I'm gonna do more of these on YouTube. I did the past 2 weeks on TikTok to see how they did, but I like TikTok for like regular content, but I don't like it for live, I don't think. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hang out over here for my lives.
You
And I
know,
can always break this apart and
if you don't
post
if you don't like it here, you can also do it on Twitch. Twitch is great for long form like streams. And if
Is
you don't
it
like
really?
that, yeah, people love to watch streams on Twitch. And if you don't like, I mean, that's where they go for that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Usually YouTube is more for like video stuff that's been like edited or whatever. I mean,
Right, sure.
live streams happen, but like really, if you're more of a live streamer, you want to go on Twitch. That's your place.
Okay.
Because then you can like also start playing video games while you talk about JW stuff, or play other stuff, or look at articles, or talk about whatever, or like watch movies that are JW related. Like that's the kind of stuff you do on Twitch.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know, but if you like if you still don't really like that, and you don't really like even being on camera, you can also try just doing a podcast. That's easy. You just record the audio and slap it up on all the different services.
This is true. It's like I'm in the car quite a bit, so it's like I could always just record while I'm driving even.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
But
like
no.
I mean, or you can actually do both. You can just rip the audio from your streams and like make podcasts out of them, so that everybody can have them in whatever format's good for them.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there does need to be something that's happening, because I want to do comics, Ash. Like I want this to like take off. And
Yeah.
So I got the one out. The one exists on my Etsy. I'll show it real quick. This is Ransom Notes, Arrested Development. I called it Arrested Development because it was a bunch of stories that I just wanted out, and I didn't spend forever rendering them. I just kind of wanted them to exist as raw as the feelings were. But I also included short stories. I included some poetry, all illustrated by me. Ransom Notes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ransom Notes will continue, but I think that in order to like maintain its accessibility to people who I would want to read it, and also it's a little bit easier for people who want to read it that don't want to get caught reading it, to do it as a webcomic. Right. So I think that I'm gonna transition Ransom Notes into a webtoon, but I'm also working on like a couple of horror comics and it feels good because the horror that I'm writing right now, Ash, ain't got a JW in it. Like I talk about it enough now. Like I'm more vocal than I was when Ransom Notes started. So I feel like that I'm kind of carrying the ball for that, and I don't want to burn out my creativity on the Jehovah's Witnesses. I feel like they've gotten enough.
No, it's great that you have something that has nothing to do with that. If
Yeah,
you don't have something that is not related to Jehovah's Witnesses as a hobby or an interest in your life, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, you're going to be miserable because I want to see them no longer exist. Like I feel like that's what we do this for, because the organization is taken from a lot of us. Like I know you lost a parent while you were in the organization. I've lost a parent while he was in the organization. And then I've lost the rest of my family because of the organization, or partly because of the organization. And so no, I would rather not need the awesome groups that I'm a part of for information to end the cult, because I know that my stuff kind of might come off more Debbie Downer to some people, but I just want to be honest. Like, and I think that everybody's content has a place, and I think that everybody does fantastic with their brand of content. My content is based on the experience that I've had. And it's really like, I love laughing with people because we've all been through the same thing, but this shit's got to end before something really bad happens.
100%. I agree. And you know what? This is another good reason. Everything AJ just said is another good reason for why you shouldn't make anti-Jehovah's Witness activism your career, because ideally, it shouldn't be there forever. You don't want it to be something that you can profit off of indefinitely. So that's why it's a bad idea to make that your job. Certain people who have done that and are still trying to do that and rescue their careers now.
Reluctantly or not, like let's end this dub stuff. Like that's the only way we can. That's the only way we can like help the people who need it. And there's relationships that are in tatters because of the organization, and they'll be easier to figure out whatever that means if the organization is not around. You know what that's just the bottom line.
Yep.
So I'm ready to like really start to ramp up what's next, and I'm so glad to have like a battle tested activist on, because I feel like that's what we really should be called more than even XJW. Sometimes we are activists, and like this is a human rights issue as much as anything that's ever been fought.
Yeah, it's just funny. They actually asked me on the documentary if it was okay if they put XJW, activist after my name, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I am. That's correct.
Yeah, because the things that we stand against, we don't stand against just because they happen in the organization. The organization is bad. Yeah, the organization is bad because they stand up for these people. Yeah. They're
just part of the bigger problem.
Yeah, they got Alan Dershowitz quoted in Watchtowers when Alan Dershowitz has gone public saying that there needs to not be a age limit for children to get married to adults. That's disgusting. Why would you quote that man? And you won't let me listen to AC/DC. Not that I like AC/DC, but you would give me a hard time for listening to AC/DC, but you can quote somebody like that.
Yeah, my mother, she couldn't listen to Tupac, openly, but she was allowed to get married at 14 to a 20-something-year-old guy.
Probably because he was spiritually strong.
Beats me. I wasn't around for that. All I know is that the elders told my grandmother that she should sign off on the marriage because it is, and I quote, better to be married than burned. And for people who don't understand what that means, they're basically saying like it's better she gets married to him than they premaritally copulate.
Yeah, better to ruin your life for a little bit than ruin your life than to not have a life forever.
Yeah, and the thing is about that is, how about, like, the elder should have told her, yeah, they shouldn't even be talking to each other. That dude is an adult. He is a whole ass grown man. What the hell is he doing talking to your
Yeah, like
14-year-old daughter? Not get married.
14.
Yeah, not don't get married because, or don't have sex, and it's, how about you just don't even look at her? She's a kid. And nothing could be more true about my mother at that age. Like, she told stories about how she wanted to go home, after she had given birth to me. She was 15 when she gave birth to me. She told stories about wanting to go home, begging her mom, my grandmother, the one in the documentary, to go home. And my grandmother would take her right back to my dad. She would literally say stuff like, I just want to hold my stuffed animals. I just want to go back to my room and be a kid again. And she'd be like, nope, sorry, you're a married woman. You got a kid. And she would just drive her back to my dad, dump her at his doorstep with her suitcase. Just leave her there. Just abandon her with some pervert old man. Well, not old man. He was in his 20s, but still.
Yeah.
Pervert is still correct. Because, and yeah, like, I used to not even think, this is the weirdest thing, like, until after the documentary came out, it didn't really click with me that, yeah, like, my dad was a perv, because he was doing stuff with a 14-year-old. I don't give a shit if it was legal because my grandmother signed off on it. That doesn't make it okay with me.
Right. Yeah, like, your mom was 15 when she had you.
Like, it's legal on a technicality that he was sleeping with a 14-year-old that he married.
Still gross. It's immoral, and if that's what they live by, it's immoral. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's
and
unethical.
my mom wanted to leave him just after a few months with him, and my grandmother kept taking her back over to his house. And actually, she did something similar to me when I tried to go and stay at her house one night because I was having an argument with the person that I was living with, a partner at the time. She told me no, that I could not stay the night at her house, even though she literally lives in a 4-bedroom house by herself. Yeah, she told me no, I wasn't allowed to stay there for the night because no, I chose that life. Now I have to go deal with it. Pretty much the same attitude as what she did to my mom. And so I actually slept in my car that night in front of her house. Like, literally just parked my car in the street and slept in the car. But yeah, so yeah, like, it's just really, it's gross. Nothing else to say about that, just that it's gross.
The last time I talked to my mom was probably almost 3 years ago now. And I said, like, among the other things that we talked about, I was like, Mom, like, I'm your youngest son. You are going to go to paradise and live forever. And you're going to think that that's paradise. And I'm just not going to be there. Like, how do you, like, I can't imagine being away from my kids overnight sometimes. Like, I can't imagine, like, my mom just being content and happy with life forever. And I'm just not there. And so I said, how do you, like, reconcile that with, like, any amount of love, like Christian, familial, whatever? And she says, I guess Jehovah would just make me forget about you. Like, think about that, having comfort in that.
Yeah, Jehovah's going to erase you from my memory. I'll feel fine. What? That's so evil to say, actually.
It's just sad. It's just sad.
That's almost as bad as telling your kid that they were a mistake or something. Like, that's, like, right up there, top 10 worst things to say to your kid.
And if you leave the organization, sometimes your parents will tell you that you were a mistake.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that too.
Parents remove kids out of family pictures. Parents take down family pictures. Parents adjust the number of kids they claim, like when they're talking to people.
I've heard that too. Yep. Actually, my dad kind of does that to me, but not because I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, because he's not anymore either. Yep. He does that to me because I'm trans. He'll literally put up pictures of him and be like, me and all of my kids, and I'm missing from the picture, obviously. And I tried to comment once. I was like, Oh, all of your kids aren't there though. Caption's not correct. He didn't have shit to say about that though. Actually, I can't even add him on Facebook or anything like that because fuck me.
Yeah, till they
Yeah.
get hungry, till they realize that it's eternity, that they can't eat the food that they were genetically created to eat.
But yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'm fine with my dad not wanting to be in my life because, quite frankly, I don't want somebody like that in my life either. You
You're
know?
damn right, absolutely, and that's exactly what I mean when I say, like, if the witnesses ended today, there wouldn't just be an automatic unshun that would happen. Like, there would be some questions that needed to be answered because this shit hurts. Like, and I understand my situation, so I'm just gonna say this. I'm so sorry, Asher. I know you probably ready to get off of here too, but I don't want anything to do with my mom because she's revealed. Like, there's nothing that would make me treat my kids the way that she's treated me.
Yeah. See, the fucked up thing is that's actually her. That's probably her and not even the cult. That might be who she is, no
But
matter which cult or not she's in.
Professor has said it a couple of times in the chat. It's rightly disposed. These are the people that the organization
That will be like that.
needs.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
These are like it's not that a lot of times it's not that they create these people, but
like
they offer a place where you can enhance your heartlessness. That's why you have so many abusive people.
Yep.
Imagine if the org fell apart in the next couple of years. How many people would be messed up realizing that they were wrong to shun us? I don't know that they would. Some of them would, I'm sure. But there's a lot of people who would say, I'm still going to wait on Jehovah. This is all just a test. And
my grandmother
that's the
probably
scary
would.
part.
My grandmother probably would say that. Jonathan, speaking of that, I mean, that's how my grandmother is. I feel like that. I worry about that with my grandmother, like with if she ever woke up, what would she do when she realized she killed her favorite daughter?
Right.
For no reason. Actually, for a stupid reason, if you want to even put a reason on it, but really, ultimately, for no good reason.
It's human sacrifice.
That might actually kill her.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's stuff I think about too. But I actually just don't think she'll wake up, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I've tried everything. I've literally tried everything. I literally put her in an apostate documentary.
It's just not for us to wake people up, Ash. Like,
it's not for me to wake my own family up because I'm an activist. That's the problem, is like, if you're an activist, you pretty much almost 99% can't wake your own family up. Unless you're really lucky and your family already had doubts. It's really hard for you to wake them up if you're an activist. You can wake other people up.
Yep.
Or help, or not. I don't say wake them up. I don't mean wake them up. I mean help them to wake themselves up. You
can share the information. Yeah, right. You can ask the right questions that they have to go find the answers to. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think that they would. I don't think that the vast majority would ever be able to admit it. And I feel like that's kind of something that's kind of being built into the organization now, with this reminders that at some point the organization is going to be continuing, but the governing body is not going to be there anymore. That's going to be gut check time. That's going to be the time where you have to worry about finding houses full of people with Nikes on and purple triangles over their beds. That's when it's going to happen if they don't move everybody to one location. Both moves have enough steam in their own publications to happen at any point. They could say tomorrow that they want everybody on the ark, but no, they couldn't face it.
Take a pill,
or to take a pill, or to have applesauce, or to have the Kool-Aid man come through. It's all on the table. But no, this ended up being a good, important conversation to have. Yeah, the empire without the emperor. all the ships become the mothership. And there's some shitty elders who are power hungry enough to really like take advantage of that situation. If anybody ever wants to discuss like localized, like specific activism, I'm there's a Kingdom Hall up here that should be made famous very, very soon.
There's a Kingdom Hall over here who could use a good foot in the ass.
Yeah, like it might be time for like the world at large to be introduced to the North Wyndham Kingdom Hall. And if anybody's ever interested in helping out with that, I would
Hey,
love to share
if you
more
got Zoom
information.
details, I can get you on that end.
Yeah, okay.
I
I'll see
might
what
even
I can
I could
share.
start a study with someone over there, probably. Not
You
really
probably
too
could.
difficult.
Yeah.
I didn't
probably
even mean to start a study with these two fools, and I just started a study with both of them. I literally was not trying to.
You should totally tell them that one you feel like is a little bit apostate, and see if you can get them to argue with each other.
That's what I'm gonna try to do eventually. Is I'm gonna start playing apostate telephone with these fools.
Yes, I love it.
It's gonna be good.
Yep. I love it. This
Start
is
drama
awesome.
at all the congregations across the country. They're all not gonna know what the hell's going on.
That's it.
Jeez, I'm terrible. You're fine. You're not even implicated in this. I'm working alone over here.
I'm fully behind your project, though.
Oh, it's good stuff.
You should end your cheese danishes. You know how I want to start ending my streams? I want to say, if anybody wants to come up on the stage and get these flowers before we leave, you're welcome to for a small donation.
Are you serious? Did they charge you?
They always recommended a donation for the flowers. They never offered the flowers without.
They were gonna throw those motherfuckers in the trash. What are they talking about? Or the fucking elder's wife is gonna take them home anyway. Like, give me a break. Those are paid for by our donation. You want us to pay twice for them damn flowers? Kiss my ass.
You got that right. You pay twice for everything.
Shit. No,
they charge per head.
Once
I got married, I don't really remember donating a whole lot. Like at assemblies, we probably threw a 20 in, but I don't really remember donating a whole lot.
Paying
After
twice
kids,
for that shit.
Forget about it. It's
like
once.
No.
Yeah. Anybody want to get this? Anybody want to come and get this shit that little kid knocked over during intermission?
But see, here's the thing. I bet people would buy it because they'd be like, "Ooh, a souvenir from the memorial or whatever."
Oh,
the fuck.
Yeah. Oh, the circuit overseer sneezed. I wonder if his sneeze dust landed on this flower.
Oh yeah, or like, Stephen Lett touched this flower. I'm totally gonna take it home, and it's gonna bring spiritualness to my house, or whatever the fuck.
Oh, you know they would say, "Oh, well, I had a spider plant, and I put it in that dirt that I got from Stephen Lett's flower, and it grew and grew and grew, and then it spreads around the Kingdom Hall, and everybody brings their little glass cup with a rooted spider plant." Exactly.
Little bastards. Yes. Oh my god. That's
all
worse
the same
than that.
Everywhere.
Those statues that bleed when they cry or whatever the fuck. That's that shit.
Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous. I can't believe they charge for that shit. I am appalled that they seriously want you to pay twice for that shit.
Donate
my ass. For real. What is wrong with y'all? That's what I would tell them if they try to recommend a donation. I'd be like, I recommend you go look in the damn donation box where I already put my damn money. And shut the hell up.
That last assembly I went to, they had assigned in a parking garage, and we didn't have lapel badges because we were mostly done at that point. But we went, and we got ready to leave, and they said, if you don't have your lapel badge, you got to pay for parking. They were charged like $41 for parking, and we ended up giving them a program, and the person who ran the toll booth knew that it was so ridiculous that we had two little babies scrambling looking for a lapel badge. And she was like, "You're dressed like them. You got a program. You can just go." But we would have had to pay $40 to park because we didn't have a lapel badge. And these people are not idolaters. They should have just paid for everybody's parking that parked there and said, "Hey, we'll pay for your parking if you're in this garage. If you want to come to the assembly, There's important life-saving information there. So you're welcome to stop by. We'll cover your tab. They won't do that. They don't do food drives. They don't do anything that shows any neighborly love, with the exception of going out in service. And that's not loving. It's inconvenient. And it's tactical.
It's about as loving as, I don't know, Mary Kay or any of them other MLM
Mary Kay,
shits.
Avon, Melaleuca oil.
Very loving. Thank you for bothering me at my house on the weekend in the morning. I really appreciated that, especially since I'm hungover. Just kidding. I haven't drank in like 2 years, but still.
Yeah, they don't need to know that.
Nah,
they can get all the misery.
No, I'm just gonna tell them. No, I'm gonna tell them like, oh, I'm sorry. I was up late last night. Crashing Kingdom Hall. I mean, sorry. I'm not an apostate. I don't even know what that word means. They'd probably be running from my house. I always tell people when I'm out. I tell people when I'm out all the time, like, I'll tell them all the stuff about JWs, all the stuff that we like to share. But then at the end of it, I'll be like, now, here's a tip for you if you don't want them to come back to your house if they ever show up. And then I'll tell them how to keep them from coming back. And they're always like super appreciative. What I'm going to do is start printing out business cards with the documentary on it and like just start passing them out to people.
Awesome.
Like,
that's
here
a
you
good
go.
idea.
Because like people always ask me when I tell them about it, they're always asking me, oh shit, do you have a link for that? And I'll have to usually write it down for them. But yeah, that's why I was thinking about business cards. It comes up a lot.
Yeah, throw it on a QR code, throw it on some stickers, throw it on a business card.
Yep.
Like, it's time for this stuff to come out, guys. Like, anybody who, if the goal is not to end the organization, then it's not going to end the organization. And it's time for them to let these people go home. It's just time, guys. Like, thanks for hanging out. I don't suffer no fools no more. And so,
well, that's good.
Just like, don't tell me who to talk about and who not to talk about. Like, I just want this to be over. Like, I don't want to be famous. Like, that's honestly, like, after I released my first comic for Ransom Notes, I don't want to be famous for being an ex-Jehovah's Witness. I don't want to be famous, period. But I don't want my writing career to be based off of
that would suck.
Being an ex-Jehovah's Witness. It's not what I want. So I'm going to tell my story because I would tell it anyway, and I'm going to share it because I'm going to do it. But no, like, look for my other stuff. I think I want to have some fun with my creativity for a while, and I still want to be able to expose the cult too, because somebody's gonna get hurt bad. Like, there's gonna be some sad news, and we gotta move this through. So I love you guys. No, I'm joking.
You said the magic words.
Now
started a cult.
For the
Too
followers.
late. It's too late. You got a cult going now. You're a cult leader.
All right.
Start accepting donations.
That's it. All right, Asher, any final thoughts?
Yeah, Jehovah sucks. And he can kiss my natural born brown ass.
Yep. I lost one. I lost Will. It's okay.
No.
But
come back, Will. Come back.
all activism is good activism, y'all. And we need everybody who can have a voice that's not looking for notoriety
or money. Yay, Will's back.
Good. Thanks, Will. But
You
yeah.
have me to thank, actually, because it was because of me.
Well, thank you. I guess that makes you my deacon. Like Asher's my deacon.
No, don't do that. Now he's gonna leave again. Shit. He's gonna be like, you work for the man, you freaking scab. I see what you're doing. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. You guys, like, it's getting dangerous. Like, don't pshaw anything you might hear about the organization. Like, do your homework. Don't take it from me. Do your homework.
Don't take it from Lloyd. Don't take it from anybody, really.
Don't take it from anybody, because this information only belongs to the organization. And anybody that wants to claim this information, you should probably ask them why. I don't want this information. I wish I was never a Jehovah's Witness. But because I was a Jehovah's Witness, for me personally, and I don't think this is for everybody, for me personally, I feel like I have a responsibility to speak with the same volume that they wanted me to speak about them, to continue to speak about them. So they're going to hurt people, guys. Like, I don't care. I don't even have 100 followers on my YouTube. If my YouTube ends now because I say that, I'm totally cool with it. The organization is gearing up.
Canceled.
Yeah, cancel me. Like, here's a reason to cancel me. The Watchtower organization is gearing up to hurt people in a more massive amount than it ever has before. And they've hurt a lot of people over their 100-year existence simply because they were Jehovah's Witnesses. It's not about faith. It's about service. And the only way you can live as a faithful witness is if you die as a faithful witness. And they don't care which one you do. They don't care when you do it, because nobody gets out alive. They don't care when you die a witness, as long as it serves a purpose to them. And if you're somebody like me, they will share a chuckle over your grave.
You're just like the podlings in the Dark Crystal. They use you up and discard you.
All you are is however many
whatever they can get out of you.
Yeah. All they can get out of you is washing windows, then you better wash all the windows.
They mine you for minerals just like in StarCraft. Your ass is just a resource.
Yep. So yeah, like, please understand, like, I'm not a Lloyd Evans guy, but I don't care if anybody's a Fallbreaker Studios guy either.
Yeah, he ain't an Asher guy either. He's just a guy.
He's a guy. He's a guy with information. And if his information is good, listen to his information and then go do homework.
Yeah, research on it.
Yeah, don't just say, oh, well, he said it, so I agree with it. Or, oh, he said it, I don't agree with it.
Go look at where he found this info. Go check it out for yourself. See if that's credible to you. Test it. Go look at other sources to see if it corroborates that. There's all kinds of research you can do. We got to up our research game.
And just because somebody is charging for it, this information exists, y'all. You can find it. You can find it without paying for it, because that's their thing. That's
true.
That's their thing. And I'm not encouraging bandits, but I'm just saying, like,
bandits. I thought I was a pirate, not a bandit. No, I'm just kidding. No. Don't pirate things. Don't do that. Just try not to do that. It's not good. It's bad. Or be a bandit, I guess, if you want to call it that. Don't be a bandit either.
Bandits are on land. We're not on the open seas.
Yeah, definitely don't pirate things if you can freaking help it. Honestly, I understand when there's something like, okay, and this is a spicy take, and I know people are going to cancel my ass for this, but look, if there's something out there that is very important that you need, like it's a document or something, and you need access to it, and for some reason it's just not available in a place where you can actually pay for it, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, I don't know. Like, at that point, I would say it's up to the person to decide if it's important enough for them that they need to go ahead and pirate that thing. But yeah, that's, I think, like the only handful of times I've done that is for stuff that I literally couldn't find to pay for,
If we
or other principles were involved.
if we were in a diehard setting and all of us had to solve a 5 million piece puzzle or everything was going to explode. If we had 499,998 pieces on that puzzle, and you said, I've got the last piece of the puzzle, I'm going to stick it in my pocket and I'm going to charge them $422 million so they can put this last piece of the puzzle in. Even if you helped us put the puzzle together, even if you were one of the first people to put puzzle pieces together, it's kind of shitty. It's kind of shitty. Like, work is work, and there's a lot of like this research is work. I know you can attest to that, Asher. Professor, I know Professor can attest to that. You know, Jonathan does a lot of videos while he's working. You know, it's like this isn't a very time consuming activity.
It is.
It really, really is.
Holy smokes, it is.
But just like also
keeping
remember
that kind
what
of
we do it
information
for.
isn't the right thing to do, though, is it?
We can't gatekeep information that is life-saving information.
Right. Right.
Especially not from each other. Like,
right.
You just kind of gotta do good and
right. Yeah. Now I'm not saying, you know, like go out and start pirating shit and then selling it and or whatever people like to. I don't know what people do when they pirate things on a criminal scale, like a large criminal scale. Because I think that's what people care about in the industries is like when people are pirating things on a large scale and profiting off of it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, no. But if you're like doing research and you need to like get your hands on a document or something, I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not telling you it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you, like, you know, sometimes that's like literally the only way to get a hold of something, and you don't have any option where you could pay for it. I try to pay for everything when I can, literally. And actually, this is also probably not, you know, a good practice to have, but I have in the past like tried out software before I've purchased it. Like in a situation where, like, you know how software they'll usually have a free trial of something, but like it won't have all the features, and you kind of are curious to know about the other features. Like I've done that before, where I've you know, tried out a program that you know, to see the features that are on the paid version before actually paying for it.
Yep.
And I know that some people might disagree, but I don't really see anything wrong with that because you're going to buy it. So whatever. And as far as like, when we're talking about, like, you were mentioning a book, like if it's a book and it's got important like information in it, you know, I would lend a book out to a friend for research purposes. I don't see it, you know, as being any different, especially, you know, if it's a really cost prohibitive piece of literature, like if it's really freaking expensive to get it. There's some books out there that are like hundreds of dollars and shit that there's no way that the average activist is going to be able to get their hands on it. I mean, we're not Lloyd. We don't have people sending us copies of copies of stuff for free or paying for it. You know what I mean? Like, so some of us just got to figure out how to just get the info we need.
So,
but yeah, I don't endorse stealing.
Like Ash said, like somebody might have something what you're looking for, and you can borrow it from them. You know, like there's a lot of things that I come across that I know I'm never going to be able to find again. I screenshot a lot of stuff So if anybody's ever like looking for an article or a quote or anything, like even like some court documents, I may have them. You know, I ask Ash for things. Ash might have information.
Yeah.
And because the movement is not about Ash being right or about Foggy being right or about Professor being right or about Will being right or about Jonathan being right, I feel like that we can all kind of share this information because it pushes what we're doing along. And this is like you know how long we've known each other. Like we're starting to see like it looks different than it did in 2016.
Things are changing.
And so like that can be good or it cannot be good. I feel like the more noise we make, we take some of those darker options off the table for them because there's too many people watching. So I hope that I'm wrong about them pulling off population control. But if I am wrong about it, I feel like that we are responsible for that as a collective because we've put eyes where there hasn't always been eyes. There's people right now that don't know who the Jehovah's Witnesses are. Never heard of them. Like it's all like all that spread out world, all that stuff that's nonsense too. Like everybody in the world is not close to having known what a Jehovah's Witness is. Everybody in the world don't even know what a Christian is. So let alone like this bullshit ass religion. No thanks. Like who can even get to it? But in the meantime, like I'm not gonna keep saying it because I don't want to sound like the kooky. I don't want to sound like the dad on Independence Day, but it's time, and it's time for me to probably go to bed because it's midnight here. But I've said my goodbyes too many times now. So if y'all want the flowers, go get the flowers. Check the food service department. There might be some vanilla pudding left, a couple cheese danishes.
Hoagie.
The hoagies never survived.
I know.
The hoagies didn't survive, and the Red Baron pizzas never survived.
That's because the people serving that shit was stuffing them in their damn bags and shit. You know,
they put a whole case of that in their car.
Put it in their trunk.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Remember the hoagies? They used to have the little mayonnaise packet like wrapped on top.
No, that was the fucking good shit. I missed that. It's the only good thing about the organization. Shasta soda.
Lemon lime Shasta.
They still sell that shit anywhere?
It's hard to find Shasta now.
Yeah.
It is in Maine anyway. I don't see
it. Needs to make a comeback, man. That stuff was all right.
That stuff was good. But yeah, once food service stopped, they were like, all right, it's about to get miserable for y'all, and you're gonna stick to it. Yes, everybody, thank you for coming by. Professor, the only reason I didn't tell you about the stream is because I didn't know if your schedule had changed, and I didn't want to bug you. I would feel bad for sending
I told
you
them
a
about
message.
it.
Good. All right. Well, I will make sure I tell them next time. I would love to have a little chit chat about the old Freemasons and the Watchtower, because that's always a fun chat, and to have somebody with as much knowledge on that as Professor, like that would be fun. Like we've had many a conversation like through Google Hangouts and whatnot over the years, but it would be nice to finally document it and have it out. I think it would be a good conversation. So we should probably start thinking about that soon with y'all. Like it'd be pretty full circle to have like to be on with my dub teachers.
Dub teachers.
All right. Yeah. Or my ex-dub teachers, I should say. You guys
That's
are like
funny.
My first Sherpas into the activism world. So
cool.
All right, man. Y'all be good. Thanks for hanging out, Asher. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, man.
It was much
hit
more
me up.
fun with you than it would have been without you. That's for sure.
That's nonsense. It would have been just as fun with just you, I'm sure.
All right, till I started arguing with myself. All right, hey, y'all be good. Have a good night.
You too, man. Be good.